And so I really appreciate the fact that you always show up for us. It is 9:07 and we are waiting for more people to join in. And at this time, I just want to say, how are you doing, guys? As you are joining in, I want you to, on the chat section, let me know where you're joining in from, and just tell me how you are doing. We all know what is happening in the world generally, but how are you doing? So when people ask, how are you? We just say fine. And most of the time, that question does not really, the person asking the question is not really asking, but I am saying that I'm asking this question in all sincerity. I really want to know how you're doing. How are you doing? Good morning. How are you doing? Please drop in the chat box where you're joining in from and how you are doing. Undaunted Naomi. Coach Naomi, hi, I'm joining from the UK. I'm grateful for life. Thank you so much, Coach Naomi, for joining in. Yes, I want to read from others. We are the world, we are the children. Yeah, let's make the world a better day. Yeah. So I'm still waiting for you, Miriam, Ayo Lawrence, Frances, thank you for joining. Caleb, thank you, Caleb, for joining. He's joining in from Abuja and he's doing really great. Yeah, Oluwaseun says he's doing great. Awesome. Enjoying God's mercy because that is why I am still here. Awesome. Grace Eleshi, wow, thanks for joining in from Canada. Thank you, Grace. Sending you all the love and kisses from here. Thank you so much for joining. Olabode says he's joining from Lagos. God has been faithful. That's just the word. God has been faithful, and we do not take all this for granted. God has been grateful, and we do not take it for granted. Arit said she's joining from Bonny Island. Good morning, Arit. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you, everyone, for always joining. And okay, Miriam is joining from Canada. Thank you for joining, Miriam. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, so today I want to wish everyone in the house happy Children's Day. Please, if you have your children around, they can join the show because we have their friends on the show. We have their friends in the meeting. So today we want to have full family meeting. So if you have your children in the house, let them join us. Let them listen to what their friends have to say. And I'll be very glad if they have any contribution to add to it. Let them be ready to do that because it is their day. So I'm wishing every one of us happy Children's Day. I was telling my daughter this morning that we have boys that have turned to men. You are children. You were once children. We were all children. We were all once children, and we are now parents. So I want to wish you happy Mother's Day, happy Children's Day for those of you that have your parents alive, for those of you that do not have your parents alive anymore. I'm wishing you all, sending you all the love. Happy Children's Day to all of us. And this is Family Meeting, the May edition. Family Meeting, like I always announce here, is the NGO under the Praise for Wowe International. And as a non-governmental organization, what we do is to create intervention for different, we do advocacy for different cases, and we pick from the SDG, gender-based violence and child sexual abuse. So Center for Sex Education and Family Life, we create intervention to solve or to prevent these two menaces. As we all know that family is the smallest unit of the society. While we go into the communities to teach them how to live their life peacefully without allowing violence between husbands and wife. And we go to educate children on how to prevent child sexual abuse. We go to schools. This is what we do. and the Center for Sex Education and Family Life. And so we thought of it that to create another intervention that we cut across the whole world. That is why we started a family meeting, saying that we are going to come here to discuss topics that ordinarily people will not talk about, not even in your religious organizations. And that is why we started this family meeting. We brought it online to discuss this. And so far, we have been able to reach quite a number of families. We have testimonials. We have people sign up for counseling, and we have been following up. Like we always say, the essence of family meeting is for us to create a village where we are all guided by the same rules, by the same beliefs, by the same values, and we are able to raise and have a peaceful family, that the children, the seed, go into the world to change the world, while we are also changing our world in our different spheres. I want to welcome you once again to family meeting. And today it is the children edition because we are in the Children's Month. This month, we celebrated the International Day of the Boy Child. And yesterday, we celebrated Children's Day. I really want to appreciate those of you that took the pain to celebrate your children. I was asking yesterday when I got to the mall, the Ikeja City Mall, and I saw the lots of children and parents enjoying them. So I was like, oh, wow, I really appreciate that, because ordinarily the impression we have is people don't have time for their children. And I can see that we are gradually experiencing the change. So thank you so much for those of you that are here. It is part of it, celebrating your children, and you want to learn, you want to know more about how to help your children live an awesome life. We all know what is happening, killings in schools, innocent killings in schools, you know. And if not only the Texas cases, not only the Texas case, I also heard that there's a lot of killings, accidental killing, even in Lagos State. And we wonder what is happening. Recently, we have the issue of the Chrisland School, and we've been having the issue of bullying and all that. And we wonder, who are the people raising these children? Is it that the children are not paying attention, or what is missing? What is the problem? You see, I'm not here to judge, and I'm not here to cast any blame, but I keep wondering, the parents of the girl at Chrisland School, the woman thought she knows her child. She thought she knew her child, but she was surprised at what happened eventually. I'm sure some of us are here, we are raising our children to be awesome. And they go to school, they mix with other children. And so you don't even know what they're doing. And this is why we have our guests in the house. Is it that we are not getting it right? Is it that we are not using the right language? I put on my social media yesterday to say that, see, if we continue to use the old curriculum to raise this present generation, then we are up for disaster. And there's no other language to it. And so while you hear, so I want to, if you want to talk about it, you can raise your hand. If you want to drop it on the chat box, I want to hear your opinion when you heard about the Chrisland case. What did you think? How did you react? Because a lot of people reacted. We saw reactions, we saw responses. People reacted by being suspicious of their children. People started not trusting their children. You know, a lot of emotions. People became so overprotective of their children, checking on their children every time. And I was asking myself, is this really the solution? So what did you do when you heard I want to read in the chat box, please. I want this to be an interactive session. We all are going to ask our guests questions. So get ready to ask questions. I don't have all the questions, that's just the truth. I don't have all the questions. Before I bring them in, I have Caleb Elenda in the house, and I have Davina Eleshi. Davina, how are you? Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you all hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for joining. Thank you for coming. Yeah, Caleb Elendo. Caleb, how are you?
Everyone. I'm very
Good.
fine, ma'am.
Good, good, good. Thank you so much. They are going to introduce themselves, but before we start that, I want to hear, what do you think about all the news you're hearing? What are your reactions? Yeah, as parents, how do you react? How did you react and how are you reacting? Do you still trust your children? What are you doing differently? I just want to know, do I have anyone that wants to take up the microphone or you want to drop in the chat box? Yes, parents in the house. I'm still waiting. So that it won't be our own opinion alone. Maybe I was just exaggerating what I feel or what I thought parents did. Let me hear from you. Mommies, are you still in bed? Anyone? We have about 28 parents here. Please, I just want to hear your opinion. What do you think? I want this to be an interactive one. I don't want it to be the usual, we just come, talk and go, and parents, we didn't get to hear response from the parents. Anyone? Okay, so while we wait for that, I want to say that we may never be able to fully comprehend how fast we are losing our children. And that is it, because we are relating with them as adults. So if we continue to relate with our children like we are relating with adults, we will continue to lose them. Children are actually going into extinction because we don't even know what to say to them. We don't know how to interact with them. We don't know the right language to use. We don't know, because the generation is far apart. The age difference is far apart. And it is somehow, okay, so somebody is saying, can you repeat the question? Okay, Grace, I'm saying that hearing all the vices, all the things going on in the society about our children, and I made mention the Chrisland issue. I said, what do you think? I just want to know, how did you feel at that time? I also mentioned that some parents became too suspicious of their children. Some became overprotective of their children. And that began to cause problem between the parents and the children. So I'm asking, how did you feel and how did you handle that? So Oluwaseun said, I took it as an opportunity to have deeper talks with my girls, assuring them that the way of the Lord remains the best. Thank you so much, Oluwaseun, for raising wonderful and trailblazers. Thank you so much, Oluwaseun, for that response. And so that's what I'm trying to, I really want to get. I just want to know how you did it. While Oluwaseun said she took it as an opportunity to sit her children down, some parents became very reactive, and doing that, they were sending the children away the more. And this is why we are here to say that, what exactly do you know about your children? And that is why I have Davina and Caleb in the house. Davina, I'm going to start with you, and I want you to introduce yourself. Just tell us a little thing about you, what you think we should know about you. And Caleb, you're also going to do that after Davina is done. Yeah. Davina.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Davina Toluanimi Eleshin. And to just briefly talk about myself, I would say I'm a 15-year-old teenager. I'll soon be 16 though. I'm a 15-year-old teenager that loves to make content that inspires people the way others have inspired me. So that's just the best way to put it.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Davina. Davina creates content to inspire people. Yeah, thank you very much. Caleb, can we meet you?
Hello, everyone. Good morning, again.
Good morning, Caleb.
Okay, okay. Can you guys hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so my name is, it's actually Elendu. Yes, it's an Igbo
Elendu.
name. Yes, Elendu Caleb.
All right.
Elendu.
Thank you, Caleb,
I'm
for
a 20 year
correcting
old,
me.
I'm a 20-year-old young man. Yes, I'm a 20-year-old child. Is that fits the scope? Um, I'm a content creator, a Christian content creator. I'm a writer, um, a graphic designer. I'm a copywriter, and I volunteer for Save the Boys Initiative. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Caleb, for joining in. And so we have Caleb in the house. The truth of the matter is it wasn't very easy to get a male to do this for us. And it got me thinking, could it just be that we are talking about the same issue we have with the men not showing up for programs like this, with the men not being equipped to come out to talk about their issues. And when I was interacting with Caleb yesterday, I said, Caleb, we're going to have full session with you because the boy child is one big issue we have in our society. We don't know how to raise, or rather, we don't talk about raising the boy child. And we complain that we have men that are wife beaters. We have men that are sexually abusing the girl child. And to my own understanding, it is because we just keep them in one side. As parents, we pay attention to raising the girl child. We tell the girl child to know how to cook. We tell the girl child to know how to do this. We tell the girl child, we have an idea of what the girl child is going through. But as parents, a lot of us don't even know what the boy child is going through. And we raise them to not to express their emotions. We raise them not to talk. You talk too much like a girl. Why are you crying like a girl? You know, all those things. And the ripple effect is what we are seeing in our husbands, in the men, in our bosses at the office. And Gabriel is here, Caleb is here to talk about that. You know, there was a time we went on an outreach and we were talking to the children, and the facilitator just mentioned that wet dreams is biological, that it is normal. You could see the expression on the faces of the boys in the class, and they were like, okay. One was bold enough to say, really, is it normal? The facilitator said, yes, it is normal for a boy to have wet dreams. And I was curious. I was like, okay, so why did you ask? Why are you surprised? And he said, so all they grew up to know is that, and quite a number of them also attested to it, that all they grew up to know is that wet dream is a sin. And so when they experience it, they feel bad. It becomes their little secrets. They don't want to tell anybody. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want anybody to condemn them. How many of our boys, how many of those things are the boys bottling up? So Caleb, I'm going to start with you. Caleb, tell
I'm
me
here,
some
man.
of those things. Yeah, tell us some of those things that boys go through that you went through. I want us to be practical. I told you, right? I want us to be practical. And you have also worked with the Boy Child Initiative, where you have a lot of boys come out to talk about their challenges. So I want you to tell us, what are those things, some of those things that boys go through? Because this beautiful baby boy grow up to be vocal. By the time they are age 8, 9, they are becoming quiet. By the time they are 13, they don't even want to talk at all. So what are those things that boys go through? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much for the question. It's really key. And yeah, I'll first of all say something that the key thing or the root of the quietness is actually because we're not being heard. The society doesn't hear us. That's the very truth. You put the girl child side by side with the boy child, and what do you find? Okay, the boy cries when he's wrong. Like you said, the next thing that is the reply is, why are you crying like a girl? But for the boys, for the girls, they cry and it's valid for them to cry. Wow. Why again? I don't understand that why isn't it valid for the boys to cry? So this all this stems from the fact that okay, the boys grow up all jolly or happy and everything, but then they end up as quiet as they are because they are not being heard. We talk about our emotions, we talk about our troubles, and what's the issue? Oh, like a man, you can handle. Ah, men are not supposed to cry. Man up, man up. What really is manning up? That's the question sometimes I've come out to ask myself. Because joining Save the Boys initiative, you all can go and check it out on Instagram, Facebook, or everywhere. It's gonna help you with your boy child. Joining Save the Boys initiative has turned my life around because I'm made to understand that okay, my emotions are valid. To cry is worth it. I'm not less of myself when I show my emotion. And this is I while you were talking, something just came into my heart, and I said I would say the boy child emotions is valid. Dear parents, please, I beg of you, hear this and hear this for the sake of your boy child's future. His emotions are valid. His future is valid. His pain is valid. There's nothing like he's crying like a girl. If he cries, he cries. Boys cry, girls cry, everyone cries. We are all human beings. We cry. We show emotions. We have struggles, and they have to be placed in the same cadet. You find many people coming out for the girl child, but for the boys, it's like okay, they are strong. And I wrote out I put out the content. I think that was this past week, and I wrote there that you are most strength is actually the ability to be vulnerable and be truthful about the things you're going through. Strength is not shutting up. Strength is not being immune to pain. Strength is actually validating this pain you're feeling and talk about it, and then you can walk over it. Because if this voice, the fact that these emotions, when our emotions are not being heard, we bottle up and thereby burns out the pain on others. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Caleb. I can see passion. I can see passion when you were talking, and I can see that you're talking from a place of pain, personal pain, maybe that you have healed from, and from interacting with other boys. Caleb, I want you to tell me, what are those pains that you're talking about? What are those struggles that boys go through? See, we have mommies and daddies in the house, and fine, we got it wrong. We did not know. It is just the way we were also brought up. And so we just felt boys should just let them. But thank God, things are changing. We are getting more educated. And this is why we have this platform to say that let's hear from you. We really want to know what's happening in there, because we don't have people come out to talk. Even when we're talking about gender-based violence, or we're talking about spousal abuse, we eventually got to know that husbands are also being abused, but they don't come out to talk. So Caleb, what are the pains and those struggles you're talking about? Because you keep saying our pains are valid, our emotions are valid. What are those pains? What are those struggles that you're talking about?
Okay. First off, the first. Yes, am I being heard? Sorry,
Yes,
can you guys hear me
yes,
clearly? Okay.
we can hear
Yeah.
you.
So first of all, emotional stress, the rate of, because I find it, because for the boy child, belief responsibilities are just placed on his head automatically at birth. A baby, the father and mother is already saying, "Oh, my son," especially if they are firstborn. Welcome to that country where you're already a child and your father is telling you, "You will carry the world on your shoulders. You will carry my legacy. You will do this. You will do that." So I feel Emotional stress is one of them, and not just for this part of family, but also in our relationships, in our day-to-day living. Because at a point in time when I was younger, I I was feeling emotions for the opposite sex, but yet there wasn't really anyone to talk to as much because on a norm, I wasn't being heard from the point of, oh, you're strong, you can handle things on your own. Okay, so I felt like I could handle these feelings I had and these emotions that were rising on my own. And not just that, the next, another kind of thing, I'll call it failure, failure wise, academically, and yes, life wise. You find that boys in school, when they fail, what's the reply? You're like the stress of uh, you're going to be a father and see what you're doing. You're already failing. What will you now do? If you don't pass your exams, you can't lead your children aright. You won't earn enough money. So the stress is there. Like the boy child, I feel like we're not even giving room. There's no breathing space to fall short in any way. And that in a way is a good thing. But at the same time, we are humans. Where we fall short because of your boy child can be passing through emotional stress that he can't tell you to relate with him. Okay, he's having a crush on a girl. He can't talk to you about it because you feel you can't like a girl. You're liking a girl, you're not well, you're not normal. It's not right to like a girl. But we have emotions, so we can feel this thing. Boys also another kind of thing is rape. I've interacted during my time, and in this my time is Save the Boys Initiative. I've heard stories of boys being raped. But when the boys are being raped, what's the question that comes out? Ah, did you not enjoy it? But when the girls are being raped, what's there? The guy must justice for so and so and so. So these are just among a few. Yeah. Thank you, ma.
Thank you so much, Caleb. Parents, can you hear that? Please, I want to see reactions in the chat box. These are things that we just felt, he's a boy now. Why will he be crying? And we just pay attention to the female child, right? These are just little things. And you can hear the depth of the effect on these children. You can hear the effects. You can hear from his voice. I can hear it. I can sense it, the depth of the pain and the struggle. Putting too much, when I started, I said there are times that we relate with these children as if they are adults. He talked about emotional stress, that please allow us, when we cut our hand, when we hit our leg, allow us to express our emotion and come up for us to say, oh, sorry about that. Oh, really, you hit your leg. So we were doing it when they were 2 and 3 years old. Why are we all of a sudden just pushing them away? Because that's the word. We just push them. We just tell them to sort themselves, forgetting they are little humans that needs attention. For those of you that have children at home and your children are still very young, what do you want to start doing differently? You can hear Caleb talking about the challenges of the boy child. We put too much pressure on them. I even thought, I don't have a boy child, and I thought it's only on the girls to tell them to go and cook. Maybe that's minor, right? We tell the boy child, you better be serious so that you'll be the father, you'll be the head of the family. He just mentioned in that weight, that expectation is always too much on them. It's always too much. We are just saying it. They are the ones taking it in, and they are the ones feeling it. You are the adults around them. You are their the first set of people, the husband and the wife, that they believe and they trust and accept everything that comes out of your mouth. That is why it seems as if the effect of those words are heavy on them. They just take it like that. Oh, I'm going to be like daddy. And they start assuming and imagining themselves as daddy. These are the weights we put on them. And we tell them not to cry. We tell them not to talk. You heard when he said it, that even when something happened, he wants to come out to talk and be like, you can't talk about it because you are a boy child. because you're a boy and you are not a girl. It's only girls that are allowed to talk about it. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Caleb, for being so passionate about this and talking about it. Please, parents, let us drop our questions. And if you want to say anything, please raise up your hands. I'll be checking to see if there's anyone. Yeah. So, hi, Davina.
Hello.
Hello, that's the girl one, you can hear the voice. Hello. Right? Yeah, thank you, Davina, for joining us.
You're welcome, ma'am.
So, I want to hear from the female perspective.
Okay.
What are those things that we do as parents?
Okay.
That make you people feel, because from age, as soon as a girl child starts talking, she's a chatterbox. She talks about everything. She wants to tell you everything. But by the time you're getting to a certain age, girls also withdraw.
Yeah.
Right? So what are those things? What are those things you think you want us to know? We want to come into your room anytime.
Okay.
You don't want it. We want to see who you are chatting with. Maybe your mommy is awesome. But some of us, we still we're curious, want to try to see what's happening there, right? So Davina, I want to hear, what are those things you think we should know? Because we are here to let parents understand that a lot of things are going on, and all we need to do is to calm down and listen. And we are here to learn from you guys. Yeah.
Okay. So when he first said that a lot of girls are chatterboxes when they first start talking, I was like, But then I realized that I was a chatterbox and I am still a chatterbox. So that just prevented me from backing off that point. But okay, I think something my dad told me that kind of helped me was, because he calls me by my middle name. So I mean, it's good to talk, but make sure you're talking with sense. That's what he used to tell me all the time. So every single time I say something that doesn't make as much sense to others, at least, he'll remind me, it's good to talk, but make sure you talk with sense. So I think that kind of helped me. And I'm sure if my parents would be that kind of parents out there that would, let's say, abuse their children, I think, what's this year about? Is it Ellen? I think I can't pronounce the word. Something like that. If my parents had been those kind of parents, I don't think I would have much confidence in the voice I have of now. I know that at some point I started to withdraw, and that wasn't because of my parents. It was because of children at school. Even till now, I'm the kind of person that asks a lot of questions. So when I'm in class, my classmates might be like, "Oh my gosh, is she doing?" Like, I didn't know it was that way. And I kind of believe that when you're trying to give feedback, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm the kind of person that believes that when you're trying to give feedback, give it in a way that you keep the person's emotional well-being in mind. And they didn't do that. So I kind of cut it off, but then also kept in mind that when you're asking questions, before you ask them, think about it in your head. That's something that my cousin always told me. That before you ask any question, think, try to find an answer, then ask it. If you can't find an answer, ask it. If you can't find an answer, don't bother disrupting the class, because sometimes questions can be disruptions. So I think that's one side of it. Then concerning the gender roles that we are kind of socialized with, I remember when quarantine started, my dad, because I have an older sister, so my dad would be like, "Okay, Grace, Davina, go to the kitchen and do this and do that." And I'm the kind of person that, it's not like I'm stubborn. It's just that if I'm doing something and you call me out of the blue, it's like you're disrupting what I'm doing. It might be as little as watching a show or playing a game or on Instagram or this or that. But if I'm doing it and like you're telling me something else, like you're disrupting that flow. So I used to just wonder, why is it both of us that he's calling? Why is it not my brother or something like that? Okay, so I would probably answer that question later. So I was like, why is it just both of us? But then my sister, she's interested in what goes on in the kitchen, and she continued, like she answered and she learned more, which is why as of now my sister can cook more than me. I can cook because we split like the duty roster. So Davina cooks on these days, Grace cooks on these days, but then she showed more interest. But as I continued, as I grew older, my mom kept on reminding us how it's it's not a girl's place to be in the kitchen. We've gotten to a point in society where we are trying our best to share these roles, these gender roles, so that when we grow up and become parents, can you guys hear me? Because the video has frozen. Hello? Okay, yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you. So when we grow older, when we grow up, I, as a wife, will not just be playing the emotional role for the family. I will also be making money. And my husband will not just be making money, being the breadwinner. He will also have some hands in the housework, in playing the emotional role and whatnot. So I believe for that to be realistic, we have to first train the kids, or at least the parents of now have to train us in ways that make us comfortable doing that. Because if I'm not used to having that characteristic of a breadwinner, you can't just put me out in the real world and expect me to easily adapt. And if a boy is not used to playing that expressive role, you can't just put him into the housework and expect him to easily adapt the way a woman adapts. So I think that's the basic of everything. We should try to train, at least the parents of nowadays, to train their kids with that in mind, where equality is something that we should keep in mind and we should strive for. Because I do sociology, and under one of the topics that we just covered was about family. And I was able to see a disadvantage, or at least on the woman's side, for inequality when it comes to the roles. Because when it's just the woman doing the housework and she sees how much satisfaction she can get from being out there playing the breadwinner. But then if other factors like her husband or her family members are not willing to help, she might not end up fulfilling that career, or at least the purpose in her career. So let me quickly answer the question. I saw a question by David Adiola Benson. A question for her: why do girl children withdraw from dad and stick more to mom? Okay, that one, me, I have to think very clearly about that. I think it's not about gender now. I think it's the way you treat them. That's how I see it. Because at some point, my sister kind of drew closer to my mom. Oh my gosh, she just embarrassed. My sister just like typed, I mean, that's the daddy's girl. So my sister kind of drew closer to my mom because, like, my dad is that kind of person that if he wants something to be done, he wants it to be done right. He's not a perfectionist, but then do it right. That's just she's a principled kind of person. So when my sister is doing her work and he's like, do it this way, and she's like, no, I like doing it that way, it kind of comes with an argument. And she sees how my mom kind of accepts her point of view, or at least my mom is the kind of person that as long as you do it and the results are great, I don't mind your method, just do it a particular way. So yeah, when my sister noticed how my mom can be a little bit less on her neck for tasks, she kind of drew closer to her. And when I saw the arguments my sister and my dad were having, I drew closer to him. So at least he won't feel like, okay, everybody's against him. So that's how it was during quarantine. So Grace with mommy, Davina with daddy. But then I I feel like I'm always in between because I'm a night crawler. My mom is also a night crawler. So we kind of have our gist sessions in the night where it's just the two of us. So my dad and I have our own in the car where it's just the two of us. So I think it's not really about gender, it's how you treat them. If mommy treats the child in a way that they love, obviously, I think that's how relationships work. If I have a friend that treats me better than the other, why am I with the other? No, I will draw closer to the one that treats me the way I want to be treated. And I don't think you can just walk up to me and ask me, then how do you want to be treated? That is a question I cannot fully answer. It's something, that kind of question is a process. So yes, it's how you treat them. And I don't think it should be this form of rivalry where, oh, I'm trying to make sure my kids love me more than my spouse. I don't think it should be like that. I don't think it really should matter who the child loves more. As long as you know you are treating them well, they will come around one day. And make sure you have quality time. Know the love language. I'm the kind of person that loves, I think my own is quality time. I love watching films with people I care about. So when my mom watches films without me, I'm like, why? But then my sister is acts of service. And my mom was able to realize that, which is why they kind of go closer. So Grace will make food for mommy, and my mom finds, like, she just finds joy in her food. So she expressed that kind of joy and whatnot. And they would reciprocate that love language. I'm a person of quality time. So when my mom and I watch movies often, I kind of go closer to her. When my dad and I watch movies often, I kind of go closer to him. So it's understanding that love language and understanding the way they want to be treated. So I'm seeing comments in the chat. Okay.
All right, Davina. Grace, thank you for letting us know that Davina is daddy's girl. Davina, that was a beautiful one. Thank you so much for being so open to us on this platform. And I really appreciate that. So parents, please, let's drop our comments in the chat box. And I took note of some things that Davina mentioned. She talked about the feedback, the way, so probably she has been able to, she's emotionally intelligent and she's been able to understand her parents and the way they give feedback. They have had conversation around that and they have arrived at a particular method that is working for her. So she referred to her friends in school, and this is how it is. Some of us, the feedback we give our children, we need to watch it. We need to be careful when they are doing something that is not too good. You know, her dad said, fine, you talk a lot, but when you are talking, think before you open your mouth, you know? So that has helped her over time to say, okay, I don't just talk. And by the time she got to school, she got it bad, right? Her friends were not patient enough to explain that to her, you know? So that affects their emotions. Some of us, we just lash back on our children. And this child, this girl grew up to become nasty in the boardroom. And that is why some people don't like female bosses, because she just lashed back. She's rude, she's this. You don't know where she's coming from. You don't know the kind of upbringing she has. For somebody to be a director or to be at the top in career, to be at the top of her career, you know that that person must be very intelligent or hardworking, or it can be anything. So try to imagine how that kind of child grew up. You know, that kind of child wants to talk and all. And so how was she corrected? Even though she still struggled to get to the top of her career, but how was she groomed? How was she handled? How was she raised? What were the comments? You know, I remember that right now, I don't like making friends. And when she was relaying her story, I just remember that it started when I had issues with my friends when we were growing up, coming from choir practice. And they said I said something and all of them just ganged up around. All of them, I was the only one, and they were shouting, and I just withdrew. So when she was saying that, I just remember that is where it started from. And right now, I can't say this person is my best friend because of that experience. And I'm sure some of you can also remember those experiences you have. The other thing she talked about is the gender role. Did you hear Davina say something about career, about what she likes to do? Why would she now grow up and she gets married and they don't allow her to be? Why? And this is what some of us have struggled with. You want to be a medical doctor, you studied for JAMB, you wrote JAMB, you passed JAMB, you entered the university to study your choice of career, and you get married, and some things are coming up to take away that passion, that zeal that you had. And you wonder, so why did I go through all that stress of studying? Why not just enter into my husband's house like that? And that has killed a lot of women. Mommies and daddies, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. That has killed and damaged a lot of, so they say the symmetry is it's a very rich place for dead people. Can you hear me? Please, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, all right. So yes, a lot of, thank you so much, David. So a lot of women are just there. They don't even understand what purpose is. And when I counsel with people, when I counsel with women especially, I ask them, if the title of mommy, wife, Mrs. something is taken away from you, who are you? A lot of women have lost who they are. They have lost their essence, all because of all these experiences. And this is the reason why I'm sure you guys are listening to how Davina and Caleb are just giving us basketballs. Please, I want to read from you. I want to read from you, parents. I want you to ask questions. Okay, David said, thanks, I'm good for your openness. I'm learning, thanks so much. Yeah, I'm going to talk about that, the gender role that she mentioned. She talked about your question saying that why are the female children close to, even psychologically, it is the other way around because of the Oedipus and Electra complex, where we say at some certain ages, the girl is closer to the dad. And that is where that statement, the dad is the first love for every female child. That's where it comes
so complicated.
So we have this Oedipus. So ordinarily, the female child is supposed to gravitate towards the male child. That's the opposite. When we say opposite attract, that's the way. So the boy is usually supposed to be close to the, so, and Davina answered that question very well, saying that, what is the method of approach? And she said something, why will I have a friend that is not treating me well? So daddies in the house, how are you doing it? These children really want to be close. See, you are the first love, the first experience, the first date your female child should have. You're supposed to teach them, let them see how the male will handle them. Let them know, and they will say that, no, my dad don't treat me that way, right? That is the way it should be. So daddy, if you are here and you are the lion of the tribe of Judah in your house, please, these children want to be friends with you. We know that same problem we are talking about is still the reason why you are like that. The same problems that Caleb had highlighted, you not being heard, you just want it in a particular way because that is how you were raised. These are the things we are talking about, right? These are the things we are trying to correct in our village, saying that we want to come together as a village to raise our children in better ways, so that we are saying they are the leaders of tomorrow, so that they can change our world. They are the saviors that we look up to change the world, right? And we are saying that we need to understand them, understand their method. If you don't understand their method, if you don't understand how to handle these ones, you will lose them. Admin, please, can you mute Mrs. Ayegoro? Thank you very much. Okay, so Oluwaseun said, my girls are closer to their dad, okay? I usually feel cheated and jealous at times. One of them actually once told me I couldn't handle her homework without trying me. So you say it, try because she is more comfortable with her dad. He's the one that buys them chocolates. It might not even be because of the chocolates, actually. It's just something about the opposite that attracts, just something. And this is also to say that every female child needs that security, and they find in their father. That is part of what the Oedipus and electoral complex talked about. Okay, what else? So Davina talked about temperament and love language. I was going to talk about that at the end of the show, but I think I should just chip it in as it has been mentioned to say that how well do you know your children? The temperaments we have for the Institute of Family Systems Engineering, there's a designed there's an age-appropriate personality assessment designed for children that will help parents understand their children. You will understand their love languages. Your children are not the same. If you have 4 of them, they are all not the same. You need to understand their differences. You need to understand, pay attention. And I'm sure some of you know, you just use that side of those children to attack them, which is affecting them. So you need to understand that the children are not the same. They have different love languages. I'm sure the team election understand all this, and they have been able to deal with Davina and Grace in their different ways. Okay, so let's move. Caleb, what are the things that the children of this generation, it's different from what we are talking about. The children of this generation, they want their parents to understand particular things about them. I mentioned when I started that we can't use the old curriculum to raise this generation of children. So please let us understand, what are those things that are different? And what are those things that the children of this generation, your age range, your age group want us to understand? What is it about you people that we need to understand? Talking about the social media, the kind of movies. Oh, sorry, okay. Before I say that, I also want to mention what Davina said. Please, how many of us are raising assertive children? Did you hear what she said? That when even if it is game she's playing, you can't just call her to say she should go and do something. And that is what these children in nowadays, you can't fit. If there's any English, like you can't fit. Mommy said go, and before she even finished calling your name, you are on your feet. You are. So these children want you to understand that they also have plans. They also have plans. I know I've heard of a particular girl that when she's reading, before she starts reading, she asks you, Mommy, do you have anything to send me now? Do you have any errand you want? Because if I start reading, I don't want you calling me. They don't want distraction. There's a particular way and that is what we parents need to understand. They are humans. They have their brains too. They have their mind. They want to plan ahead. Even if you think what they are doing is not very important. So Caleb, sorry, it seems I'm answering that question. So what are those things? What are those things children of this generation, the boy child of this generation? I know some boys don't want to go to school. They want to do crypto. Yeah, wow. So.
I'm being heard. I want to be sure I'm being heard before I continue.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So thank you so much, Davina, for all the points you made. Seriously, they were mind-blowing. Thank you so much. And from that point, from everything, it's for the fact that we want our parents to understand that we are unique in our own ways. Like she said something about her and her sister. You guys are not the same. You understand that, okay, your parents, because from what you said, understand, parents know that you and your senior sister react to things differently. and they can't treat you the same. So first things first, we want you guys, our parents, to understand that we are unique. We have values, we have dreams, we have aspirations. They will not be like your own. Your dreams will not be our dream. When we are born, you might fix us into the box of engineering, fix us into the box of medicine. But when we grow up, we enter into different passions. Like even up till now, when I tell people I'm a writer, it doesn't still flow well with everybody. And I understand why. Because there are certain things that parents are used to as career paths that they don't feel that any other evolution is necessary. But this is also for us kids to understand. So the thing is, I'm getting to understand where our parents are coming from. That's why sometimes it doesn't, I'm now getting used to it, because I feel like we will always be at par when there's always a breach, when there is no on trying to understand them. Now, like you said, because this thing, you've been saying something that the curriculum has changed. So I'm understanding now that my parents are coming from that perspective to me. So the job is to be patient with them. So that's why, please, as children, as we, your children, we are patiently waiting for you to understand us. Please, we are unique in our own ways. I would like to, this is the point I will emphasize on. We are unique because I've watched this thing happen in so many homes, and due to this thing of generalizing, we tend to not put into consideration children's strengths. At a point in time, I felt really pained as a child because my brother is really, like I call it, you see, he's a mega mind. Let me put it that way. Let me use that nickname for him. He's a mega mind. He's a brain box. But then, and he really loved mathematics when he was in secondary school. Yeah, he's done with university, he's working. But then, even when I was in a lower class, I was still being compared, mathematically speaking, to him. His mathematical prowess was used to judge me as a person. I didn't like maths when I was in secondary school, although I'm ending up in the university now, even studying mathematics that I was running away from. So now, the thing is, I was really pained then. It was a big pain. The generality of, I know your brother, he loves maths. Then that pain was there. So parents, please understand we are unique. Those emotional differences, I don't know, melancholy, I don't really know them, but I know there are 4, like you mentioned. Please take time to study them. I'm not saying use them as the basis for which you can judge completely, but try to just, based on this understanding of these things, study your children beyond just generality. Study their uniqueness, their likes, their dislikes. Okay, Davina likes this. How would she like to approach this? Now I know she doesn't like disruptions. I will try to minimize the disruptions. Okay, I get that there are times where these disruptions would come in because life is so spontaneous. We can't just wake up in the morning and say, okay, this is how my day will go from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. No, even if you plan it, it doesn't work that way. So, but try to minimize these distractions. Now I know that Vina doesn't like distractions. Okay, if Grace is spontaneous, so I'm using this as an example. If Grace is spontaneous, okay, I know I can work with her in this certain way. But then, it's based on still understanding. And please, secondly, based on this uniqueness, know that our values will differ. Our values will differ. Heard. Am I still on the screen? Everyone, am I being heard?
Yeah, we can hear you.
can't
It's
hear
just
you.
breaking gradually. Just breaking.
Yeah, I didn't get that part.
We can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, know that our values are different. I, as a person, I value quietness. Oh my God. I hate people. I dislike. Oh my. I dislike noisy people. Let me not use the word hate. Hate is a very deep word.
Yeah.
I dislike noisy people. But then my is outgoing. She's social. So most times you come into the house and you don't even know, like you see that, okay, everywhere is, and she's the firstborn. So in this case, the firstborn rules, something like that. So she's more social, trying to get everywhere bubbly. But then you see me quiet and you feel like, okay, who's this guy? What's the, like, why, what are you doing? Like, I don't get, we're not the same. My name is Caleb. Her name is not Caleb. So you can't look at us the same way. So I feel that's the basis. We want you guys to understand, because every other thing that will be said from this, there's no need to dive into any more outlays. It spawns from this fact of understanding that your children, we are diverse people. We have different values. We have different temperaments. We are emotionally different. It's going to solve a lot of issues. We are not the same. Don't treat me how you will treat yourself in a way. You might accept a shout, I might not accept a shout. The only way people say love, okay, how like the scriptures put it in a certain way. Okay, love others, do unto others as you love others to do unto you. That's not really the Bible. I don't know, it's something about love, Sha. Love, love others as you will love yourself. Something like that. That's the parable. That's the only time of do to yourself, that kind of. But for the rest of things, we are not the same. Thank you very much. I hope with this point, not points of mine, with this point, I've been able to establish something.
Thank you so much, Caleb. I'm just enjoying myself hearing these people talk. Yeah, Davina, you're going to talk. You're going to also answer that question of what is it that you people want us to, and I want you to, I would like that you tell us something. Don't worry, I'll mention it. So Caleb said, understand that they are unique in their ways. They are different. These children are different. And so when you start comparing them, you are hurting them. When you start comparing them, saying that you will not be serious, look at your brother, look at your sister, you are hurting them. You're making them feel bad. Parents, I hope we can hear this. He said they have dreams. They have their own dreams too. They have values. Don't just see them as you are my child. And so you dictate, I want you to do medicine. And that is what you're going to put in your JAMB form. I remember having challenges with my daughter when she said she wants to read performing arts. What? In this Nigeria, performing arts, really? And she said it throughout her secondary school until the day she was filling the JAMB form. And I was wondering, okay, are we filling performing arts? And she still insisted. And I tried to look at the country. Where is she going to use this? You understand? So kids, this is what we think about when we say, do medicine, study medicine, study engineering. Because in those days, these are the seemingly lucrative jobs. And parents, we need to understand that times are changing. A child just wake up and said, I want to be a blogger. I want to be a YouTuber. And you'll be like, really, where is this coming from? That is their world. And this is the reality we need to start facing. That is their world. That is their reality. We have to learn how to use the computer. They are opening their eyes into it. And that is their reality. And that is why I keep saying we can't use the old curriculum to raise these children. The curriculum has changed and we need to learn. We need to learn. And in Press Forward International, we have several courses to prepare you parents, to help you parents in bringing up your children. We have the new rules of parenting. We have a lot of things. We even have Ready for Life for your children. If you think you're having challenges with your children, we have a class for the children. We call it Ready for Life. And as time goes on, the admin will be dropping the details in the chat box to see these children are unique and you need to understand them. We need to start getting educated. And that is why we started this family meeting, a place where we educate one another to say, see, the rules have changed. And if we don't pay attention and listen to these children, we're going to lose them. We're going to lose them. You can hear from their mouth now. And Caleb also said, okay, yeah, don't generalize, don't compare them. They are unique in their ways. Yeah, Davina, I want you to answer that question as we begin to round up. Parents, please, I need you to drop questions. Please drop your questions. I might not know what you're going through in your homes. I'm not there. I don't even know. That's just the truth. So drop your experience. Let's hear from these ones. Let them tell us what they think. All right, Davina, let me hear. What is it that you guys want us to know?
Okay.
This generation, yes.
So I'm going to build up from a point that Caleb made. So first, I personally believe that it's not. Okay, let me rephrase. The way a child ends up becoming is not totally on how the parents raise them per se. I really think that the way real life hits them will affect how they end up turning out. So let me make it in a particular way. My parents, like I started by saying that my dad, my mom, they kind of made the house a comfortable place to speak. But when I got to school, the kids at school made it not so comfortable for me. So if my parents decided to be blindsided and like just not be involved and everything, I would have continued despite the confidence training in me. I would have had like low self-esteem, would lack self-confidence and everything. So I really think it's the role of the parents to try to undo any negative the outside world has done while the child is still in that care. So let me repeat it because that's a very long phrase. I think it's the role of the parents to try to undo any negative that the outside world has done while the children are still in that care. And why I'm adding that while the children are still in that care part is because it will be much easier for a parent to help their child with low self-esteem issues when they're like 5, 6, 7, 8, compared to when they're about to leave the house to go to university when they're 18 or 19 or almost reaching 20. It's kind of hard for you to learn things, or at least to be emotionally intelligent and to be assertive when you have grown so much without that feature. So I'm just going to start with that. If you think, okay, I raise my kids right and whatnot, please make sure you are involved in what is going on. Make that comfortable space where they can speak to you about their issues so that you can at least help them feel comfortable with you. Because the problem shared is a problem half solved. Let them feel comfortable with you. Let them feel comfortable around you. And you find out that they will start to tell you things about them in school, and you start to find ways to undo the negatives that school has brought them. Maybe you can teach them how to filter negative feedback. So you pick out the good, take the bad. Maybe you can teach them how to give positive feedback. Maybe you can teach them how to not let peer pressure affect your decisions. And why I'm using these examples is because you never see them at home. I can never really be pressurized my peers in my house because my house is full of who? My older sister, my younger brother, my mom, my dad. They don't even really fit into that peer group. Why? Because you don't really share the same characteristics. But when I go out to school, I see a bunch of peers. So the chances of me being pressurized by my peers skyrockets immediately. I'm going to use the example of the school I currently go to. So it's a boarding house. At least we have a boarding house. And then I see some kids that are in primary school. So they are currently borders and also in primary school. So they've been open to that whole peer pressure while they were young. And I see the way they act. I see how sometimes rude they can be. And I'm like, if I could never even dream of that when I was younger. Why? Because I was directly under the eyes of my parents. So if my parents saw any change in my character or my attitude, they would find a way to just change it immediately. Whereas for people like them that barely see their parents in like once a month or once in every 2 months, any character change they get and they start to display when they're at home, they'll be too far gone. So I think this is just like a call for action. Parents should be really involved in what is going on in their child's life, whether they're having friendship issues or this or that. Don't be like, they've got it handled. Sometimes we actually really don't. Or at least I know that majority of the time I don't always have it handled, or at least having good friends around me is not always the answer. So yes. And then something else that I'm sure you were trying to make me talk about when you asked me this question was that, one, I think parenting style really matters. And I think this really goes back to being involved as a parent. Because I have a friend that she's the last born. And Caleb mentioned that whole the elder ones being the superior and whatnot. And I see it in the way she described her family. So she has 3 elder siblings, 2 elder brothers, 1 elder sister, and everything. So she talks about how her elder sister used to negatively, like, so let me rephrase, used to verbally abuse her, call her names, this and that, but then she never really spoke to her parents. So that can lead to a person being withdrawn, a person being shy, because when they see traits of their sister in other people, or at least the person that abused them in other people, it will bring back that, I don't want to call it PTSD, because I think PTSD has to do with more physical attacks, but then I think it will bring back those thoughts. I was watching an Instagram reel yesterday, because I'm on Instagram a lot, and then the person was like, I don't know how to describe the video, but I'm going to describe it the best of my ability. The person was talking about how, like, it showed them doing makeup and then them hearing a sound and how their face just turned and that kind of stuff. And she talked about how growing up in an abusive home, every single time she hears people shouting or screaming, it brings back memories of the past. So if she didn't find a way to help herself and go out of it, it will affect her as she goes on. Another point I want to mention, and something I see in one of my friends, is, so there are 3, and she's the firstborn, but then it's like in her house, the firstborn being the superior does not even matter. It's like cancelled out. Her younger siblings are treated by far better than she is. And I don't even just mean about discipline now. If she asks her parents for anything, she doesn't get it. Whereas if her parents ask, or if her younger siblings ask for it, they give it to them straightforward and everything. It even got so bad that when we saw she had new things, we're like, Omo, they finally started treating her well. Because her younger siblings are basically spoiled. I don't really know the reason for this, but then I can see the way it affects her. Because there's some things that she really, really wants, there's some things that she wants to do, but then because of the way her parents treat her, because of the inequality between the way her parents treat her and her younger siblings, it kind of affects her. Like she's in art class, but then before she even got into the art class, it was a struggle. Her dad already had that idea of, I'm taking you to school to become a doctor, nothing more, nothing less. So when she said that she doesn't want to become a doctor, she wants to be a sound engineer, he was like, I didn't bring you to school to be a sound engineer. You can do that, but I wouldn't put any financial hand. And when she was telling me about this, I was like, how can you tell a child that really wants to achieve something that you will not support them financially? Please, where on earth did you want them to get the money from? Because courses on sound engineering are crazy expensive. Courses on general music are crazy expensive. So please, how do you want this child to achieve this goal without looking for bad means? Because if she ends up stealing, or if she ends up committing crimes just to get the money to do this, I don't think she's fully to blame. I think it's the pressure they've put on her that kind of made her act this way. So as parents, do not let there be inequality in the way you treat your kids. They are all children. I don't think anybody decided to be born first, second, or third. So it's not their fault that they were born in the position they were born in. So let's just keep that in mind and try our best to reduce sibling rivalry, because if it becomes really bad, your siblings are meant to be there to be your connections. Let's say I need help with what? My sister's very good at arranging stuff. Let's say I need help with that. I can just easily call her and we have a greater bond. Why? Because we are siblings. But if there's sibling rivalry, I would rather meet anybody else before I call my sibling. And that shouldn't be. Your siblings are meant to be there to be your direct connections. I see human beings to be available for networking, and I think networking alone. So your siblings are here to help you. At least when you have that, she's my sister, it gives you a higher advantage than if someone else comes up asking for the same favor. Oh, let's say my mom needs help with slides because I'm a graphic designer. There's a higher chance I will help her than someone else I meet randomly. Why? Because there is that connection with she's my mother. She gave birth to me and everything. So as parents, try your best to reduce sibling rivalry. Because I know at some point, I don't know if it was sibling rivalry, but then my brother and I were always against each other. I think a lot of people that have younger siblings feel this way. It got so bad that I was wondering, what did I do why? What did I do that I had this kind of person as a younger brother? Because sometimes he can be just, I can't even put it into words. And when he would do the things he would do and I would complain, and my dad would be like, you have to tolerate him and this and that. And I'm like, are you seeing what he's doing? And my dad would keep on mentioning the fact that I'm hearing him, but I'm not listening. So obviously I can hear what he's saying, but then it's entering this ear, it's coming after that ear, that kind of thing that people used to say. So I think it wasn't until I just forgot about the matter and he stopped annoying me that I finally learned to forgive him. Because if it continued the way it was going, I don't think we didn't even talk as much. But then if you continue the way it was going, I don't think we would even talk at all, because I felt so frustrated by it. I felt like they weren't understanding my point of view. I felt in certain ways, but then I was made to understand that the people we are put around is to help us as we grow older. So I think what my coping mechanism was that when I grow older, I would find someone almost as stubborn as David, almost as strong-willed as David, almost as strong-headed as him. So because I've already had that introduction, that exposition to how such a person behaves, I can be like, you know what, I've dealt with your kind before, so there's nothing you want to show me that I've not seen. That's just how I put it. And that was something I told my friend, that her dad told her he won't financially support her. I told her that when you grow older, you find someone that will discriminate you, because the world can be very cruel sometimes, especially to Black women, because we are seen as a minority gender, and being Black, minority ethnic group. So you come a lot of disparity and discrimination and prejudice. But because you've already been exposed to it when you're younger, that's not good, but I'm looking at the silver lining. Because you've already been exposed to it when you're younger, you'll be like, I had a dad like you, so there's nothing you want to do to me that my dad hasn't already showed me. But please, let us parents try our best not to make our parents, at least make our children say that about us, because such a child will never be as close to their father or be as close to their mother, because she even said it herself, she finds it hard to ask them for things. And what's the point of parents if I cannot come to you when I need help? I don't see the point of parents. I don't see the point of people. if I cannot come to you when I need help, or at least when I need that feeling of comfort? I don't see the point. Or come to me. So let me just try to address something in the comments. I think I'll use my phone to look at this because it's hard to scroll the tablet. Okay. Yeah, boys are different as younger siblings. My mom used to tell me stories of her younger brother, and I'm like, if David tried that with me, I would what? Oh God, I don't know what I would do. So yeah, talking about chronology, it is always better for the parents to disabuse their minds and let them know they are all the same. My first daughter used to call herself the experimental child. I actually see first children as experimental children. The second used to say she was the one suffering from middle child syndrome, whatever that means though. So the middle child, I'm the middle child, and I've kind of looked at it a bit. The middle child syndrome is when the child sees themselves to be there but not there. So I am there in the family picture. You guys can see family picture, but it's like to the parents, the only children are the first and the last. So as long as you're eating and you are not dead, that is enough. They don't really care about you. But then I don't think it was like that for me because I tend to express, I'm a person of words. When I feel a particular way, I will let you know I feel that way. So when it seems as if my parents are not treating me the same as my siblings or forgetting about me, I will tell them straight that I won't tell them in a rude way. There has to be respect no matter what. I don't think we should forget that. Nigeria is a place of values, so I don't think we should forget about that respect value. But then I'll put it in the most respectful way of my ability. And I'm sure my parents can kind of vouch for me. Okay. So while the third one is to say she was the one with the last one charm. The feeling and expression showed me something wasn't right with the way I was relating with them. And I consciously watched it. After assuring them at different points that they are all loved the same way and apologizing for making them have feeling of being treated differently. Of course, they are different, but parents shouldn't make them feel more loved than the other. So concerning making one feel more loved than the other, I can't really say anything about it because I haven't really asked my siblings, oh, do you think daddy loves me more than you? Or do you think daddy loves you more than me? So I can't really put any mouth into it. But then I know that
Like
parents.
okay, like for this point, like this point of loving one person more than the other. The thing is, if our parents, if consciously an environment is created where everyone is involved, there's no place for loving one or the other, loving someone more than the other. Because this thing of okay, everyone does something regularly. Okay, your dad enters into the house. Today he tells you, okay, please come and see what I got today. Come and just show me one or two things. The next day he tells your sister that same thing to do what you did yesterday. The following day he tells your brother. So when certain tasks are being delegated to you guys in the same frequency, I feel like that balances up everything, making everyone feel useful. Just puts down the fact of loving one from the other. Yeah.
Thank you. Oh, all right.
Okay, yeah. So when you mentioned calling, now this is Caleb now. When you mentioned calling one sibling for this, trying to make them feel useful, I think from the way I see it, or at least in the way I've seen some things, is when you're constantly calling me for a task, it can seem to be annoying. So that would just undo the whole
love.
It will undo the whole lovey-dovey feeling you're trying to build in me. Because if you're constantly calling me, I'm like, is this person not here? Or is it that you cannot see them? Or is that person not here? Or is it you cannot see them? So that kind of feeling, I think as parents, this is going back to temperament and love languages. Just love them the way you've seen they like to be loved. Because yes, as much as I like being helped, I wouldn't really say acts of service is my full love language. So if you decide to do act of service for me, you're doing yourself. But then I'm the kind of person that likes quality time. So when you decide to love me the way I like to be loved, you notice more effect. It's like you're trying to sculpt something and you see soft spots. It's better and it's smarter for you to hit the places that you know you get the most dent. Not just that'll take too much time. Hit the places you know you see the most effect. Hit that soft spot. Find your child's soft spot and hit it in a positive way.
Yeah.
That's just the matter.
Nice one.
Oh, wow, 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 wow. Guys, parents in the house, what do you think? Please, I need to see comment. That chat box is too quiet for me this morning. Can I hear comment? Can I see your comments in the chat box? How is the session? How is the session going? Are we just wasting your time or you are enjoying it? Or these children are hitting it on the head? Please, I want to see comments in the chat box. I want you to celebrate those children. Thank you so much, Davina. Thank you, Caleb Elendu, for being so vulnerable. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, I want to see more comments. I can see the conversation is hot. Fantastic session. Thanks, Davina and Caleb, for schooling us afresh. This has been super amazing. Yes, 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 yes. This has been super, super, super amazing. And I'm so glad that in our village, in our community, we are raising awesome children. We are raising children that are going to take over the future. And I'm not afraid anymore because I know that these ones are trailblazers and they are taking over. Certainly they are taking over. Thank you so much. Yes, Ekwase said there is hope for Nigeria. I'm so excited. Okay. Hi, my name is Adeshewa. I am enjoying this meeting. Thank you so much, Adeshewa, for joining us. Thank you so much. I'm so excited that we are not wasting your time. And if you listen so well to what Davina and Caleb had said, you can see where the mistake or the misconception is coming in, because they see you do things this way, they see you do things in a particular way, and they just assume this is what you mean. Do you understand? They just assume this is what you're doing. The first child is saying, the middle child is saying, and this is why I said you can't afford to communicate to these children as if they are adults. You need to let them understand what you mean. And you can't achieve that if you are not ready to sit with them. When Davina was talking, she said something about at home, it might not be that hard, but by the time they get out, they face the real life heat. But if her parents had not helped her to balance it, she won't be able to handle it well. She used that word. By the time she gets outside, she gets to school, she experiences big pressure because she meets different kind of truth, contending with the truth that is in her already. And if you are not friends with these children, they won't come back home. And the home is supposed to be the place of balance, the place where they come back to say, oh, mommy, do you know what Sholakwe said today? And mommy said, really, gist me. And they sit down to talk about what Sholakwe said and what mommy think. And mommy helps them to harmonize and balance the conversation. We need to be friends with our children. That is part of the new rules. You have to be friends with them. You have to be vulnerable with them. You come back from the office, you tell them, if you see what Mrs. Salami did at the office today, and she'll be like, okay, mommy, how did you react? Or how did you respond to what Mrs. Salami said? And you're able to. She's learning conflict management. That is how to teach them. That is how to teach them to sieve. You know, in FESEC, that's Family Systems Engineering Certification course, they teach us to have values, family values. They have values. Every human being have their own values. But when you have a family value, your children are able to balance whatever pressure they are experiencing from home. They are able to balance it, remembering, how will daddy handle this? How will mommy handle this? This is our family values, right? I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this. Make the home comfortable. Imagine if that Chrisland girl, by the time the video was becoming viral, because it seemed to me as if it took a month before her parents got to know, and the video was already out there. She's supposed to see the home as a succor. She's supposed to come back to say, Mommy, I did this. Mommy, this is happening to me. My teachers are doing this. But she couldn't come back to say that. Please, let's make our homes the haven of rest. Let's make our homes the place the prodigal son will come back to say, I'm sorry, daddy. I'm sorry, mommy. I did this. And you're not meeting that with insults. You're not meeting that with abuse. You're not adding to it, because if you do that, they won't talk again. They will go silent. And so we need to help them know the right way to handle peer pressure. You know, I said it when we started that you're raising your child in a particular way, and your child gets out there. You can't keep them in the house forever. They will have to mix. Even if you build the fence, you build the wall of your fence to be 10 feet tall, they will definitely mix with other people outside. They will meet with other people outside. And in fact, so you will know, those fences are not even doing anything anymore, because we have some visitors that are not knocking before they enter. And they are coming in through the social media, the internet that you make provision for in the house. They come in to influence your children in ways you can't believe. There was a case of a child that we handled at the office sometime in January. This child is from a strong, redeemed home. The father is a deacon or deaconess, or the mother is a deaconess. They are strong Christians. They do morning prayers, morning and evening. The only places those children go to, they are always there with their parents. They go to school, they come back home, they go to church, they come back home. That's the life they live. They have routines at home. But guess what? The first child, she was 9 going to 10 at that time, because as of January, she was 10 already. This girl has been praying in the Muslim way since June last year, and the parents are not aware. She's been praying in the Muslim way 5 times daily. She had already learned how to write Arabic. And when they brought her diary out, she wrote everything in that diary in Arabic. How did she learn it? The visitors that don't knock. Yes, TikTok. So I eventually got to know that there's a Muslim community on TikTok that teach children how to do some of those things. It can be the other way too. We can have Muslim child learning how to read the Bible and the parents are not aware. And this is why we say we need to be friends with our children so that they come up to tell us whatever. I want to believe that at some point, the girl was confused and wanted to come back, but she could not, because she felt my daddy and mommy would kill me. But they eventually found out. They caught her praying in the Muslim way in their guest room. Can you imagine how devastating they were? Yes, so we need to. Then Davina mentioned something about sibling rivalry. Very important. Sibling rivalry. Please, whatever it is, the reason why you are allowing the last born to enjoy all the love, please let the first two understand. The reason why the first child is being deprived of some things, you remember Davina talked about her friend. Please let the child understand. Maybe you don't have enough cash on you and you just felt she's mature enough, she can cope. Because these are usually the way we see it. We don't mean to hurt our children. So we need to understand how to help these children understand the meaning. Let them have the right meaning to our actions. Let them have the right meaning to our actions. Thank you so much. Yeah, Davina, I can see you already in the car. Davina says she has another meeting. Yeah, by 10, I guess. So I can see your hands raised. Parents, please, do you have anything to say? So while Davina is talking, I'm checking the chat box. So admin, please, I need you to drop the new rules of parenting, the link to access the new rules of parenting. New rules of parenting is ongoing presently. We started that, and the class has started already. We're in the 3rd week. If you want to join, please, admin, drop your number so that they can reach out to you. And we can sell the recording. We have the recordings, the replay of the class, and we can sell it to you at 50,000 naira. Please and please, the rules have changed. The rules have changed, and you need to understand and learn the new rules of parenting. I also want to introduce a particular book to us, very powerful. This personality type we are talking about is discussed in the book, and that is strictly for parents. You can get strictly for parents on Paystack. You can get the book on Paystack, and I'm going to drop the link here for you if you need to get that book. We have different books strictly for parents, strictly for girls, strictly for boys. These books are so rich, and you want to get them. These are books you should have in your library, strictly for girls, strictly for boys, and strictly for parents. Powerful educating book. In the strictly for parents, we highlight the personality types and the love language. In that book, we teach you how to develop your child's user's manual. In that book, you have how to develop your child. You know, when you buy a phone, you have a user's manual that teach you how to use the phone. Your children, you can design a user's manual. So the format is in that book. I have dropped the link in the chat, and thank you very much, Mutolani. And Mutolani has dropped the phone number to reach the office on this matter of parenting. The rules have changed, and we need to. Please don't see all those things as these children are saying as what's wrong with them, because that is our reality now. Yeah, thank you very much all for the comments. Thank you for the comments. Davina, you can have the mic. I yield the mic to you. Are you still there? Yeah, you wanted to say something.
Can you hear me? Can your
Yes,
connection on the road is off sometimes?
I can hear you. I can hear you loud.
So what I wanted to say that I just realized clicked to the matter in Chrisland was that parents should build a comfortable society for their kids. And if you forget every single thing I've said, please don't forget this. When a child is comfortable, they are vulnerable. The child was comfortable.
Oh wow. The network, we can all see that.
What happened? She
Davina
was a bit confused. And I have our talking sessions in the night. Hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but we had a break at some point. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys say something when you can't hear me, and I'll talk slower. Because my mom and I have our talking sessions in the night, and like it's just the two of us. Every single problem I'm having in school, I just tell her. Sometimes, let's say I'm having a problem with a boy, and I think parents should know. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
Okay. Parents should not overlook that part. We as teenagers will always get to a point. Where we actually start liking people and we're continuing a relationship. And because I decided to talk to my mom about it and my parents about it, they kind of advised me, okay, not right now. You're currently writing your exams. Not right now. But if my parents had not created that comfortable society for me, I wouldn't have told them anything about it. I would have probably entered the relationship. I would have gotten in trouble in school. And when my mom heard about it, or when my mom hears about it, God forbid, I don't know what will go down. If you guys get what I'm trying to say. So because my mom has built that comfortable society with me and we've become comfortable with each other, if she hears anything, she's like, that is not my Davina. If my dad hears anything, he knows that is not my Solani. So that's just basically how it is.
Thank you very much for bringing that part to this conversation about erotic feelings when children start having crushes. Please don't disabuse it. It's a feeling. That emotion is very valid. Just help them to handle it. Learn to use the right words. It's normal. Yoruba, we say, Agbawabu rabe we oshiori. Have you not done it before? You've experienced it. Why are we now pushing it away? And see, if you do that, you will lose. They won't come back to tell you. Let them understand that, yeah, it's very normal to have crush. It's very normal to feel this way about the opposite sex. If your child is not feeling it, then there's a problem. There is a problem. Yes, I'm saying it. If your child is not feeling, if not having that erotic feeling towards the opposite sex, then there's a problem. But when they come to you to talk about it, don't push them away. Help them to balance it. Help them to manage it. And this is where the father comes in for the girl child and the mother comes in for the boy child. The father will share the experience that, see, at this age, it's just fantasy. The mother will come in to say, oh, see, that emotion will soon fly away, because if you do something very irritating to her, she will not like you again. Just let them know, and let them know that that is not the love that leads to marriage. Do you understand? So please, parents, so while we round up, thank you so much. I'm so excited. We are 3 minutes ahead. Okay, yeah, 3 minutes ahead of our time. And I don't want to take too much of your Saturday. I know Saturday is for washing. Saturday is for going to the market. Saturday is for Owambe, right? Thank you so much. Yes, Ganiya said the rules of parenting have really changed. As mom to two daughters, born 12 years apart, really, wow, I'm learning that firsthand. Thank you so much. So how I parent my 10-year-old is very different from how I parented her 22-year-old. Very, yeah, true. It's different. The rules have really, really changed, and you need to pay attention to them. Please don't see it as weakness. Let your friends say anything they like. Let your friends feel anyhow. Don't see it as weakness to say you understand your children's need. Don't see it as weakness. It is not a weakness. You need to understand. Learn from them. Dance buga with them. Do everything with them in the house. When you do that, I just heard Davina. When she was having the relationship thing, she felt very free and comfortable to come and discuss with her parents. So thank you very much, everyone. Wow, it's been an amazing one. It's been a very beautiful one. So I am saying here again, we have the new rules of parenting class going on presently. Please, you can even still join the class and get the recording, the replay from the first 2 or 3 classes that has gone. You can still join the class. And if you think you don't want to join the class, we have the replay for sale. And I have also dropped the link to get Strictly for Parents. Strictly for Parents, that's the book. In that book, you have everything. It's like all the teachings summarized on how to raise your children. If you are not emotionally capable as a parent, try to engage a child coach. Yes, please try to engage us. Feel free to reach out to us. You can also feel free to reach out to me. Motolani has dropped the office number. You can also reach me on this number. Yes, you can also reach me on this number. We have the link there. We have the office number, and you can reach me directly on WhatsApp via this number. We need to open our eyes to do the right thing. we need to open our hearts and our eyes. I'm sure you're very excited listening to these children. And somebody said, Nigeria has hope. Yes, there's hope. And we are raising a village, and I'm very excited because our village has a hope. Now, Caleb, what's your closing remark? What do you have for us as we round up today? Caleb, are you still there?
Okay, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just feel like I need to put in this tip of, I'll call it a soothing tip for the parents. Please, even we've talked about this, and okay, hello, am I being heard? Sorry.
Yeah, we can hear you now, but there was a breakup a little.
Yeah. Let me just give this soothing tip. I know that after this event, we all want to get right into action. Parents want to start like firing up on the children, try to connect. But here's the tip. It might not turn out as you picture it in your head right now. I know you are picturing my children will start reacting positively to me. It takes time. Don't determine the timeline for which we will open up, because it's a growth process. A child that has been locked and has not been heard, it will take time to open up. It takes consistency. And yeah, that's just the advice. I just feel like someone needs to hear this. Don't put a timeline to it in your head, because and concerning this emotional this temperament study we've been talking about, since that people have different temperaments, yes, please understand that when you study about this on the net, you try to get the characteristics of different temperaments. Understand that we're human beings. Human beings are dynamic, so it won't always turn out as you picture it in your head. Oh, you've heard that a certain kind of temperament group, they are not quick to get angry. It will shock you. You will do something, that person will vex for you there and there, and you say, they were lying. No, they are not lying. It's just that human beings are different. Human beings are, what this temperament thing is just going to do for you is to give you an idea. It is you to work it out and experience it by yourself. Don't treat it like, don't use a certain template. There's no template as such to treat a human being. Just experience it and trust God to help you as you're doing it. Just flow, enjoy the process, enjoy the ups and down moments. And that's what makes life beautiful in the end. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much. It's been a privilege being on this platform.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Caleb. I celebrate you. Do we still have Davina in the house? Okay, Davina has another meeting, and so she had to go. Thank you so much, Caleb. I celebrate you, parents. Yeah, he just cushioned it. Don't be too expectant of the changes. Be consistent. Consistency is the mother of manifestation, and you will see the changes coming up gradually. Be patient. Please be patient. Please be patient. Get to learn, be open-minded so that you can learn from them. You can see Bridget Eleshi said, parenting is hard work, and we need to step up into our children's world to help them. I'm still in school learning as parents. Davina and her siblings are schooling my husband and I to be better parents. So proud of the woman Davina is becoming. That's so awesome. I celebrate you. I celebrate you so much today. Team Eleshi, Tunde and Bridget Eleshi, I celebrate you for raising such an amazing daughter. And in the house, I have Ebuka. Ebuka is the boy child coach. I celebrate you, Ebuka. Ebuka, thank you so much for raising a wonderful man in Caleb. Thank you so much for the work you do to our boy children. Thank you for what you're doing to our boys. Thank you so much, Ebuka. Ebuka is the founder of Save the Boys Initiative, and Ebuka is doing a lot of things. Ebuka is really, really trying. He lives in Abuja, and somehow this program, we get to see it online, and he's really, so Ebuka, could you please drop your handle so that people can follow you? Please follow Ebuka, the boy, Save the Boys Initiative on Instagram. Follow Family Center Africa on Instagram. We have and we share quite a number of amazing information on this handle to help you. And please don't forget to get your Strictly for Parents and to reach out to the numbers displayed in the chat box if you need counsel, if you need assistance, if you need us to talk to your children, we'll be here to assist. And with this, we come to the end of Family Meeting, the May edition. I'm super excited. And I'm so glad we are not wasting our time. I am so glad of the future that we are looking forward to. Thank you so much once again, everyone, and have a beautiful weekend ahead. God bless you.